Don't take it personally, my sister Brielle said, swirling her wine like she owned the whole sky. Some people just don't aim high. I mean, teaching at a community center and marrying a country boy. She smiled at my parents as if they were her audience. But hey, someone has to live the simple life. My name is Marina Holt. I'm 29. And I've learned that silence is often the loudest answer. But that night, her words pressed against something tender in me, something I wasn't sure I could swallow again. The dining room lights hummed faintly, my AI bait breaker detail, because they always flicker in our parents' house when it gets too warm. The flicker reminded me of the porch light back home, the one my husband, Eli, fixes every other month. He says a house only stays strong if someone loves it enough to maintain the small things. Brielle never cared for small things. Meanwhile, she continued, leaning back so her diamond bracelet caught the chandelier, Liam's genius investments are booming. We might even upgrade to a place in the city with a rooftop garden. Isn't that right, Mom? My mother nodded eagerly, her eyes filled with pride reserved only for Brielle. Dad added, "See, Marina? This is what ambition looks like." I kept my hands folded in my lap, tracing the faint ink stain on my thumb from grading kids' homework earlier. Another detail Brielle would mock if she noticed. "She's just jealous," Brielle whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. When you marry a man who grew up chasing chickens instead of careers, you can't expect much. The table erupted in laughter. I didn't move. I didn't defend myself. I just watched Brielle's reflection in the glass cabinet, distorted, stretched, fragile in ways she'd never want to admit. Eventually the laughter died. The plates cleared. The night ended. But the next morning, everything flipped. My phone buzzed before sunrise. Dad, then Mom, then Brielle. 3 missed calls. 1 message. "Marina, it's urgent. Liam's investments collapsed. Everything is gone. We need you to sell your house to bail them out." I stared at the message, the porch light still glowing outside my window, steady and warm. And for the first time in years, I felt no fear at all. I sat on the edge of my bed, the early light stretching across the floorboards like quiet truth. Eli was still asleep beside me, one hand loosely curled the way it always is when he's dreaming, that small human imperfection I've always loved. My phone buzzed again. "Mom, pick up. We're coming over." "Dad." "Marina, don't be selfish." "Brielle, answer. Now." I slipped out of bed, letting Eli rest. He'd had a long week repairing fences after a windstorm, and the last thing he needed was my family's drama invading his morning. When I stepped into the kitchen, the kettle hissed, symbolic motif. Steam, the way it always did when someone pushed me to my limit. The whistle rose as I opened my parents' message thread. A new voicemail. Mom's voice, frantic. Brielle and Liam could lose everything. The house, the car, even the kids' trust funds. You have a home with plenty of equity. Sell it. Help your sister. She's family. Family. A word they only used when they needed something from me. Before I could reply, tires crunched on gravel outside. They came. Mom burst through the door first, red-eyed and dramatic. Dad followed, face tight, carrying papers. Brielle drifted in last, mascara smudged, perfume thick, but still somehow trying to look superior even in ruin. "Marina," Dad began, "your house is worth more than what they owe. If you sell quickly, you can save her marriage." "Save my marriage?" I whispered, letting the steam from the kettle cloud between us like a quiet wall. Brielle folded her arms. "Don't play innocent. You owe me. I've carried this family for years. Now it's your turn." I looked at her, really looked, and saw the cracks beneath the arrogance. "You want me to sell the only home I've built with love," I said slowly, "because your husband gambled away everything." Mom snapped. "Don't make this about morals. Sign the papers." The kettle shrieked behind me, and something inside me finally, quietly clicked. The kettle's scream faded into a soft hiss as I turned it off, letting the steam drift upward in slow, ghostly ribbons, my motif, rising every time someone tried to corner me. Brielle dropped into one of my kitchen chairs like she still owned the world. "We don't have time for your theatrics," she said, tapping her manicured nails on the table. "Liam's meeting with the bank in 2 hours. We need your answer now." Dad shoved a stack of papers toward me. "Just sign. The market's good. You'll make enough to help them and still rent a place in town." Mom added, "Eli will understand. This isn't a real farm anyway." That one hit harder than the rest. I felt the floor beneath me, the wood Eli repaired last spring, the place where we danced barefoot after painting the walls, the home built slowly, patiently, quietly. My life wasn't glamorous, but it was mine, and it was honest. "I'm not selling," I said, voice steady. Brielle froze. Dad scoffed. Mom stepped forward like I'd insulted the family bloodline. "You selfish girl," she hissed. "Your sister is drowning." I finally sat across from them, folding my hands. I didn't mock her when she bought designer handbags instead of savings. I didn't laugh when she bragged about Liam's genius choices. I didn't judge when she made fun of my husband or me. "That's different," Brielle snapped. "We had ambition, and now you have consequences." Her face hardened. "If you don't help, we will tell the extended family you refused. They'll think you're heartless." "For once," I whispered, "I'm okay with people thinking the wrong thing." Silence thickened between us. Even Mom didn't move. Then Eli's footsteps appeared in the hallway. He leaned against the doorway, hair tousled, expression calm. "What's going on?" he asked softly. Before I could speak, Brielle jumped in. "Your wife won't save us. Tell her to sell this dump so we can keep our lives." Eli looked at her, then at me, and the way his jaw set told me everything was about to change. Eli stepped fully into the kitchen, the morning light catching the crease in his shirt, the tiny wrinkle he always misses when he's in a rush. My quiet, imperfect detail, my anchor. He glanced at the papers on the table, then at my parents, and finally at Brielle, who looked ready to lunge at him. "Sell our house," he repeated slowly. "Why would we do that?" Dad answered sharply, "Because your sister-in-law and her husband are in trouble. Serious trouble. And Marina has the ability to help." Eli's eyes softened at the word Marina, but hardened instantly at help. "She does help," he said, "more than any of you realize." Brielle scoffed. "Please, she teaches kids how to glue macaroni to paper. Meanwhile, I'm drowning because my husband made one bad call." "One." I murmured. Her eyes flashed. Eli stepped closer to me, placing a steady hand on my back. "This house isn't just walls," he said, voice low but unshakable. "It's our life. We built it board by board, paid for it ourselves. We fought for this place." Mom crossed her arms. "Marina owes it to us, to the family." A sad smile tugged at my mouth. "You only call me family when it benefits you." Dad's voice rose. "We raised you, and you can't lift a finger when your sister's entire future is falling apart." I finally turned to Brielle. "What exactly happened?" Her lips tightened. "Liam invested in a private startup that guaranteed exponential returns. It crashed. Everything's gone. The bank is threatening foreclosure, and we have 30 days. And you want us to lose our home because he didn't do his homework?" Eli asked. Brielle slammed her hand on the table. "Yes, because we deserve stability." Steam from the cooling kettle curled upward again. Slow, deliberate. I realized something then. They didn't come for help. They came for a rescue they believed they were entitled to. And entitlement has a cost. Dad pulled out a chair and sat down heavily, as if grounding himself before delivering a verdict. "We're not asking for charity," he said. "We're asking you to do what's right for the family." Family again. That word they polished like gold, but used like a weapon. "It's not right." I replied, keeping my tone level. It's convenient. Brielle leaned forward, eyes sharp. If you don't help us, we lose everything. The house, the car, the school enrollment for the kids. You mocked my life, I said quietly. Mocked my job, my husband, my choices. But you still expect me to destroy the one good thing I've built for myself. Her throat bobbed, but she didn't apologize. She didn't even blink. Eli exhaled slowly, rubbing his palm along the edge of the counter, over the tiny chip in the wood he keeps meaning to fix. Our real-life detail, grounding the moment. We're not selling, he said. Not today. Not ever. Mom let out a sound halfway between a gasp and a growl. Then we'll go to Aunt Sheila, she snapped. Or Uncle Dan. Or the cousins. They'll want to know how selfish you've become. I shrugged. Tell them. Tell everyone. The confidence in my own voice surprised me. Not loud, not aggressive, just final. Brielle stood abruptly, her chair scraping. Fine. If you won't help, then at least let us stay here. Temporarily. Until we figure things out. My heart stilled. No, I said. Dad's jaw dropped. No. This house is small, I continued, and tense, and full of things you've always disrespected. I won't bring hostility into the one safe place I have. Brielle's lip curled. So that's it? You're turning your back on us. For once, I whispered, I'm choosing myself. Silence expanded through the room. Thick, electric, charged. Steam from the kettle twisted toward the ceiling like a quiet warning. Something in Brielle's expression shifted, desperation sharpening into something else entirely. And I knew she wasn't leaving without a fight. Brielle's eyes darted around my kitchen, landing on every detail she once sneered at. The mismatched mugs, the hand-stitched curtain Eli's aunt made, the chipped counter. Her pride was cracking, and desperation leaked through the seams. You think you're better than us now, she whispered. Because you have what? A farm? A husband who fixes fences? A life built on dirt? Eli's hand tightened around mine. I answered softly, no. I just think differently than you. Dad suddenly slammed his palm on the table. Enough! Marina! You will not let your sister lose everything while you sit here playing saint. You will help her. The air thickened. The kettle, long cooled, let out a faint metallic pop, my small motif returning, like the house itself was listening. I straightened. I already told you my answer. Mom stepped closer, voice trembling with anger. If you don't sell this house, don't come to us when you need anything. A sad relief settled over me. I haven't needed anything from you for a long time. Brielle suddenly lunged forward and grabbed the stack of papers, shoving them into my hands. Sign it. Just sign it. Liam said he can fix everything if we get this loan. This is on you. I didn't take the papers. Eli moved between us, his voice quiet but unshakable. Don't touch my wife again. Brielle blinked rapidly. Shock, offense, entitlement, all twisting together. You're choosing him over us? He's never mocked me, I said. Never belittled me. Never asked me to burn my life down for his mistakes. My parents stared at me like they were seeing a stranger. Then Brielle's voice dropped to a cold whisper. If you won't help me, then I'm telling the family everything. And I mean everything. Eli stepped forward. Go ahead. But I already knew what she was planning, and she had no idea. I was 2 steps ahead of her. Brielle's threat hung in the air like smoke, bitter, clinging, invasive. She lifted her chin, almost triumphant. You think you're untouchable? I'll tell everyone how you refuse to help, how you let your own sister sink. They'll tear you apart. I slowly walked to the drawer near the fridge, the one with the old receipts, dried-out pens, and warranty papers Eli insists on keeping. My AI bait breaker detail. A single pen cap chewed at the edge from stress grading student tests. I pulled out an envelope. Thick, cream-colored, familiar. Brielle's eyes narrowed. What's that? I laid it on the table between us. This, I said calmly, is the file Liam forgot he sent me months ago. The one he wanted me to proofread because I teach writing. Dad frowned. What file? I opened it. The pages slid out, numbers, emails, screenshots. Liam didn't just make a bad investment, I said softly. He used investor money for personal expenses. The rooftop garden, the luxury trips, the private chef. It wasn't from profit. It was debt, and he hid it. Mom's face drained of color. Brielle shook her head violently. No, you're lying. You sent me these documents yourself, I reminded her. You bragged about the garden and asked me to help edit Liam's pitch deck. Her mouth parted as memories replayed behind her eyes, and I continued sliding the page with highlighted lines toward her. This email chain shows he was warned 3 times by his advisor. He ignored every warning. Dad snatched the paper, scanning it. His expression collapsed. Brielle, this is fraud. It's not. Brielle sobbed. It's not. It's Liam said. He lied, I said gently. To you. To everyone. Steam rose again from the just-cleaned kettle, catching the light like a soft exhale. You came here to threaten my reputation, I said, but your truth was already unraveling. Brielle sank into the chair, trembling, and that's when my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. A voicemail transcription. This is Officer Calder. We need to speak with Brielle Lawson and Liam Lawson immediately regarding an investor complaint. Brielle's breath hitched. My parents froze. The kettle clicked. Eli reached for my hand. Everything was about to break open. Brielle's face crumpled as she stared at the officer's voicemail, her breath coming in quick, uneven pulls. The same sister who once bragged about her perfect life now looked like a child lost in a storm. Mom whispered, Brielle, what did you two get into? Brielle shook her head, tears smearing her eyeliner. Liam said we'd be fine. He said no one would find out. I stood quietly, the soft curl of steam rising from the freshly washed kettle. My symbolic motif, no longer sharp or frantic, just calm, released. Dad turned to me, voice cracking. Marina, help us. You always help. But something inside me finally settled. I'll support her emotionally, I said gently, but I won't destroy my life to protect someone from their own choices. Mom flinched, as if the truth stung more than the situation. Brielle looked up, eyes wide. Will you come with me? To talk to them? I nodded. I'll drive you. I'm not abandoning you, but I can't shield you from accountability. For the first time, she didn't argue, didn't mock, didn't demand. When they left, the house fell quiet, a peaceful quiet I hadn't felt in years. Later, standing on the porch, the old light flickered once, then steadied. So did I.